Hello folks, welcome back to the shop. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Harbor Freight Titanium Unlimited 200 multi-process welder. The biggest question people like to ask about these cheaper welders is, are they actually any good? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my full-on review of the Titanium Unlimited 200 multi-process welder. I chose to mainly focus on the MIG portion, or the MIG function of this welder, because let's face it, that's why most people are going to buy this. That's why I bought it. I will talk a little bit about the TIG and the stick portion. The stick is actually pretty good. It runs pretty smooth. It seems to have decent power for that small of a unit. The TIG portion of it, arc stability is decent. It runs okay. It's nothing like a pro-grade Miller TIG welder by any means. And that's the biggest thing about this welder. It's going to do mediocre at most everything, or so you would think. The surprising factor is it actually does quite well at MIG, which I think the designers and builders realized that would be the main purpose of people buying this welder, is to use it for MIG. Here I'm just welding together some outsource type work, some side work I'm doing for extra cash flow. Now I edited the clips together to save time, but my goal here is to really work the welder and illustrate to you what happens when you get close to reaching the duty cycle, which on 220 or 240, that's a 15% duty cycle. On 120, 110, it's going to be a 25% duty cycle. In terms of the MIG function of this welder, I would definitely stack it up against the Hobart 140, 190, you know, the 180Cs, the 180 duals that Lincoln offers, you know, their weld pack series, some of the other, the Millers, the 213s, the 215s, things like that. Anything from about the 140 to 200 amp range from the big boys out there, this welder will definitely, absolutely, unequivocally either match or outperform. It's just that good. Out of the box, this thing welds smoothly. It's a good clean arc. Once you get your settings dialed in, it's actually quite enjoyable to run. This does have a pre-flow and a post-flow for the gas. It's a little bit off-putting to start with, but it is usable and it is serviceable. Higher-end welders of name brands typically have this as an option, and this welder is just what you see is what you get type situation. There's no way to turn it off that I'm aware of. The things that set this apart from a pro-grade machine would be things, for instance, like the control panel, the readouts, the quality of the whip, and the construction of the gun. Those things are lacking in quality. Will they stand the test of time for many, many years? Probably not. But again, you're not spending $1,500, $1,800, $2,800, $3,000, $4,000 on a welder here. You're spending under $1,000 for a machine that's ready to weld right out of the box. That's pretty hard to beat. And as a bonus, you're getting a pretty good stick function and a pretty good TIG function. You'll see here that we're getting closer to that duty cycle limit. It's starting to skip a beat here and there. It's not running as hot. You can tell by the sound, and you can tell by the consistency. It's not running quite as well as it was. Even on a 110 standard outlet type setup, it runs pretty good. It's not near as smooth compared to 240, but it is definitely a usable welder, and it definitely outdoes the older Lincoln weld packs that were offered as sort of a sticking two pieces of metal together solution in a pinch type thing. I think those things compared to this are a complete and total joke. Harbor Freight also offers a couple of other versions of this welder that I have not used, and I think they're probably okay. I've talked to some guys that own them and have used them pretty extensively, and they're happy with them. Obviously, you're not going to have the same amount of amperage, and you're not going to have the multi-process function. Here we can see it's definitely starting to have some trouble. But the reality is this, folks. This is not a production welder. This is not a pro-grade welder. This is geared towards farmers, home gamers, prosumers, weekend warrior types that are going to go out and weld for a couple hours every weekend. You know, building stuff like roll cages, shelving for their shop, making repairs, doing some body work. And for that kind of stuff, this welder is perfect. This welder is not a big 100% duty cycle type machine. This is a small, you know, really truthfully a mid-size machine, and its primary strong suit is the MIG function. Yes, it has TIG, and it does that okay, and stick is pretty good, but most people are going to buy this for the MIG function, and they'll probably buy a spool gun like I did for it and do a little bit of aluminum welding. That's where this thing really shines. It's set up and ready for the spool gun, and for the price, it's a great little MIG welder for somebody who's not doing a ton of hard, heavy-duty welding. One thing I don't like about it is how sensitive the dials are. They are freakishly sensitive. You can bump them and your settings just go berserk. That really needs to be addressed. There needs to be some kind of detent or something on the knobs, some kind of tactile feedback to where it's not just loose and it just flops everywhere and changes settings so quickly and so easily. I see this as a major frustration moving forward. The wire drive system is more than acceptable. It's actually pretty solid. Seems like it's built pretty well. It's a spring-loaded release on the upper drive. And like I said before, it's set up for spool gun. It's got quick release gas and a switch right there. You can switch it right from the factory. It's set up for a spool gun. That's a huge bonus right there. Minus the multi-process feature. That's a huge bonus. If that's the only feature that you had was regular MIG and set up and ready to go on a spool gun, the price of this machine would justify that right there. If you've made it this far in the video, you're probably wondering what my ultimatum is or what the bottom line is. The bottom line is this welder is a good deal for the money, and you would be hard-pressed to find anything that offers this kind of functionality and serviceability for the price, even within Harbor Freight's own brand group. No, this is not a pro-grade welder, and if you expect it to be, you're looking in the wrong place. If you're going to be using this here and there as a farmer, as a home gamer, as a bodywork guy, as a light-duty fabricator, even as somebody that's wanting a pretty good machine to learn to weld on, or somebody that just wants to have a machine that has multiple processes packed into one package, this is the machine for you. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this helps you discern whether you should buy this welder or not. And just remember, this is merely my opinions and my thoughts. I'm not paid by Harbor Freight or anyone to say these things. These are my honest opinions based off of what I've seen and what I know. Till next time, have a good day.